Good on you.
All right, now let's get to something that I can be fucking mad about that matters.
So here's the problem with this story, though.
Yeah?
As hilarious and as mad as...
Don't you...
Let him finish.
I can tell by his fucking face.
Let him finish.
I can tell by his fucking face
I wanna see where this
that he's
goes.
going to be like, but there's like a good reason, though. So let's fucking hear it. Let's fucking hear it.
You take it. You take it.
Okay.
Take it away.
So this fucking little piss baby, it goes to his Smash tournament, and his little baby controller doesn't work the way that he wants it because it has to be broken in a special way that only 1 out of 50 controllers can be broken in. And he's like, no, my piss baby controller doesn't work for my piss baby game. I'm going to go piss all over myself. I'm quitting this tournament. Did I miss anything?
No, I think
it's for Melee.
I think you summed it up.
It's for Melee.
You missed how much Melee sucks and how much you hate it.
It fucking sucks, and I hate it. And this, when I saw this, I fucking got so mad. I got so fucking mad.
Why was little Kim so salty about her controller?
And you forgot about how much you wish that the game will never be ported to anything.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because it's impossible for technology to continue.
But yeah, you'll never be...
So I'd like to hear the defense on how fucking busted controllers...
You know what, Wooly? I also really want to hear this.
Yeah, I want to hear the defense on how Piss Baby can't play with his fucking busted shit. Like, oh no...
Because when you say
not a fucking
when
coward.
You say here's the thing, then this means that there's some precedent.
There's some techniques that you can't perform unless your controller is busted in a really specific way. Now, granted, in any other competition or anything for any game, that would be known as cheating. But fuck it, it's Melee, right?
So,
go.
When I read the story, I very much rolled my eyes as hard as I could at how ridiculous. So I generally came from the same place and agree. Read through it, and basically this guy Cadano on Twitter tried to explain what was going on, and it made me tilt my head and go, okay, hold on. And I'm still not sure yet. I can be convinced either way.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I can be. I'm still on because I don't know enough about it. But what he's describing is that there is essentially there's things like backdashing. Let me read it verbatim.
Yeah, it's really confusing actually.
There's a bug in Melee that only technically malfunctioning controllers can avoid. The malfunctioning is rare, volatile, and causes other issues. Due to this malfunctioning being a necessary criterion as long as we don't employ Magus' smash turn fix code, only 1 to 3% of GameCube controllers are viable for players like Armada and Mewtwo King, since that's how few have said malfunctioning PODE to a sufficient degree. The amount and type of PODE can change at any time, so at the moment, the competitively best GameCube controllers are inherently unreliable. The only way around this is to either employing Magus' smash turn fix code or using controllers with digital buttons to dash or analyze.
So I remember a little while ago when I was like, I said something that sounded stupid on its face, which is what are Melee players going to do when they run out of CRTs and they run out of fucking gear to play Melee on? And I remember being like laughed at because like, oh, that's ridiculous. They'll just get new stuff. But now we're in a position, it's like 1 out of 50 controllers that are no longer manufactured are good enough for Melee.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good enough for very few players.
Apparently players won't employ some fucking turn fix code or can't use a digital controller. Fucking piece of shit.
Basically it would imply not playing off the disc. It would imply like loading in
ROM.
Loading in a hack.
That fixes the bug. Yeah.
But the idea here is that like while 99.9% of Melee players can play on a controller and have no issue, the very highly technical thing that they're doing here is something that generally they can only these guys are performing consistently. And
once you get to a high enough level, the game forces you to be Piss Baby.
And so the example they give here is they say basically, in layman's terms, certain inputs like players like Lingren that Armada can use are only possible through the use of this technically malfunctioning controller. For example, a dashback or a backdash, depending on your jargon, occurs when a player inputs a dash backwards from a standing animation. It's a very useful move in competitive Smash, but executing that input consistently can be difficult if your controller has excessive snapback. So when you hit the analog stick, it vibrates on the way back, basically moving from neutral. And that vibration because of the sticks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we felt that.
On hap sticks, you could do sonic booms by letting go of the stick.
Exactly. And I have a PlayStation 2 Street Fighter like official, the big heavy one, where you let go of the hap stick and it vibrates the other way, forcing a minor forward input, right?
Yeah.
So that's an actual problem if you have a stick like that or something like that that's causing that issue. And here they're saying like, yeah, they'll run through controller tests trying to find that type of thing. I admit that if I had a problem when I got used to octo gates on my sticks, and when I got fucked because my stick broke,
and octo gates are unpopular.
Yeah, I realized that was a stupid decision, and I had to go get used to normal sticks. Right? I don't know enough about high level melee.
All right, I know tons. You want to hear it?
What?
Okay, this is a series in which the way that high level melee is played, the creator of the series goes, stop playing it that way. That's not how you're supposed to play it. A community that is obsessed with ideal reproduction of CRTs and all the official gear and whatnot in all situations, right?
Yeah, okay.
And has now taken it beyond perfect, authentic reproduction to authentic, perfect reproduction of a subset of official gear that has specific manufacturing specificities that enable certain things to an absurd specific degree, right? This is way beyond playing the game as the creator didn't intend. This is you forming a fucking little cult around the way that you can play it. The idea that the official perfect setup that the game was meant to be played with is no longer considered good enough is fucking nonsense. That's like going to a Street Fighter tournament and saying, I won't play unless I can use my hitbox.
In fact,
I won't play unless I can use my hitbox. I don't care that you have the Street Fighter 4 cabinet here, the fucking Vuelix cab. I don't give a shit. That's not good enough. I need to hook my bullshit hitbox into the fucking thing that lets me block from two sides.
I can do you one.
In every other scenario, this would be cheating.
I can do you one better. And actually, ooh, sorry. Whoa, hey, microphones.
You should not talk while you do that.
It's how I test whether it's working.
That's the only way you know.
Let me back up a bit. No, I can do you one better and say that like there were instances of like Marvel where there were modded sticks that had like blocking both ways being held down, or stick configurations where plinking was okay because you had the back button mapped, and the back button was the lowest priority on it was lower than light punch. Yeah. Therefore, you could plink with a light punch and things like that, right? And that was bullshit when that existed. So that's why I'm like, I don't know enough, right? Because I feel like if it's as simple as my stick goes, when I let it go, it wiggles too far forward, and I don't like the sticks that do that, then I'm like, that's fine. Yeah. Right? And well, first of all, on the bottom line, he can join and quit whatever tournaments he wants. Blah. Yeah. Right? The Armada can do anything. It's his game.
The only thing he can do is play a real fighting game.
But if it's as simple as that stick wiggling thing, then I'm like, I can understand that a bit more. If it's closer to the mapping back and mapping both in left and right to block both directions thing, then I'm like, that's bullshit. So that's why I'm like, I don't know enough.
It's in between those things. I'm not going to modify it, but I'm going to find the one that's already modified by a manufacturing defect to do the thing that I want.
It smells like bullshit, but it doesn't. I don't know if it looks like it. And I need someone to explain it to me a bit more.
Well, it makes me feel really happy because it means that like there are very quickly going to run out of GameCube controllers because they're no longer manufactured, and then these people will stop playing Smash. They'll have to. How could I play Smash with a normal controller just like everybody else uses?
At the same time,
what am I, some kind of fucking peasant using a non-busted controller? Oh my god.
But I also know, like, there's the part of me that, like, if there is something that happens to be legit here, like, if that's the difference between winning EVO and not winning EVO, which literally...
Then you didn't deserve to win EVO.
Wow.
If you have to rely on your tools being non-standard to everybody else's in a way that gives you an advantage, that is cheating. If you showed up to the Olympics and they handed you the fucking biathlon gun and you said, I can't use this one, I need the one with my special sight, they'd kick you the fuck out.
If you have a stick or a controller where if you tap the button once, it actually does it twice, that is cheating. Right?
Mm-hmm. But if everyone else has that stick, but you get the one in which it doesn't, and you brought that one in, that's also cheating.
That's not where I was going to
Okay, sorry.
go. I was going to say, but if I have an octogate on my stick, that's not cheating.
No. So here's the solution. You ready for the solution? You shouldn't be able to bring your own fucking gear. Ever. You have to be supplied the fucking generic thing. That's why cab tournaments are great.
That would be absolutely ideal if it were practical.
Yeah.
That would be super ideal. So I actually totally agree with you. If you could have standardized...
That's why I like cab tournaments.
I think so.
Because there's no way to fucking futz with that unless you sneak in and fuck with
And I know that, like... Because some people definitely have, like, there's this guy that used to lug around his giant heavy stick because he likes the weight.
Yeah.
And it was off the ground a certain height and he sat on the floor. And I'm like, yeah, man, you built it, you went through the trouble. Why the fuck not? As long as you're not holding up the tournament at any point to get this thing set up, right? And then there became issues with, like, okay, now we have to get the 360 to PS4 conversion.
Oh, that all.
And it became a nightmare, So I understand when someone wants to have their particular feeling.
Oh, of course. I like certain buttons. I like certain types of things.
There's a gulf. There's just a small gulf in between the, like, my custom button layout into my custom controller feeling.
Yep. And into
additional function.
Until this custom controller or actually this special controller or rare controller, whatever. I would denote these as rare GameCube controllers.
Perhaps, yeah.
Right? They're functionally rare. Yeah. Right? There's things that I can do with this rare one that I couldn't do with that other one. Well, doesn't that mean there are people playing this tournament that don't have access to that shit because they're so rare? Doesn't that give you an unfair advantage over those people, even if they would not be able to do the moves that you're talking about because you have the potential to do them and they don't?
Yeah, possibly.
So it's cheating. So it's piss baby cries because you can't cheat. Trust me, I think a lot about the fucking mentality of cheating because I love it.
You might be right.
So, he's like, I can't have an unfair advantage over the rest of the field. I'm out. Or, more specifically, I'm going to go up against somebody who also has this unfair advantage because they have their good controller and I don't, and thus that's unfair. But yeah, it is.
Why didn't he bring his own controller?
Oh, he doesn't have backups. That's
so hard to
that's
find.
Part 2 of the story.
Yeah, he didn't have his backups.
Is that he had his one good one.
He didn't bring his one.
He does, but he didn't have them, and they're hard to find.
So what do you expect?
So he was going to spend the rest of the time, like, trying to find
the rate is about 1 in 50, and GameCube controllers
bring one to your tournament.
Yeah. GameCube controllers are not common anymore.
Apparently, they're hard to acquire, and
well, I mean, they're not manufactured.
No, but regardless of whatever external factors, you should have a backup. Yeah, absolutely. Right?
If you're going to complain, why would you not show up with a backup? Every part of this is fucking gross.
But yeah, I know.
Enjoy leaving your fucking little cult tournament, fucking asshole.
You sound right. You sound about right. I will say,
and yes, I'm too hard on this guy. And if I met him, I would apologize for being so rough on him.
But in the breakdown here, because like I'm saying, I can go either way on this. But what I still need to be fully convinced is I need to actually see like what the advantage / what the like. I need someone to actually break down the exact movements. And the exact like.
What do you get? What do you get out of this?
And is it a roll cancel?
Well, actually,
or is it a roll cancel, or is it like, again, like a negative edge Shoryu or like a wake up, you know what I mean? Like, is it just a tactic that can be done, but you're otherwise option selecting to make it easier?
Yeah.
Or are you doing something that is otherwise not
the description? The game. The description that I've gotten from every place that's talked about this is that the lack of this vibration allows for certain very minor but gameplay techniques that are otherwise impossible on a standard controller. It's minor. It's not game changing, but it is a new thing.
And so far, because it's so complicated, it seems like no one's...
There are like 3 guys.
No one's able to really explain it further beyond that.
Because it's weird and
right?
it's complex.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when Momochi taught everybody about this this infallible perfect Shoryuken that it was a perfect wake up option select deal where if you woke up, if you do the Shoryuken to someone, and if they press a button, they get Shoryu'd. Mm-hmm. If they don't and they're blocking, he doesn't do the Shoryu. Mm-hmm. And if you do anything to move yourself out of the way, he doesn't do the Shoryu. Mm-hmm. And it's a kind of ridiculous game breaking, insane OS. And he showed it to everyone on stream a year before it became relevant and popular. Yeah. And people just thought, well, that's insane. He's lying. It doesn't make sense. And then later on, he did it in tournament, and then he did it at EVO, and everyone like, what the fuck just happened? Mm-hmm. How's that possible? You know? And it was like, yeah, this is a ridiculous thing. And it's like 0.00001% of players even understand this concept, much less will be able to execute.
And I'm aware, like I'm coming at a disadvantage here because like I hate Melee, haha. So I'm extra heated, right? Mm-hmm. And I've also taken like frankly, even I'll say it's like a super fringe hardline stance,
which is what you would do.
I think option selects are cheating.
Yeah, I disagree there.
Right.
And that's why, because Momochi's thing was an OS.
Well, that's an argument I can have with you, and I get it.
Yeah.
Right? And I just happen to fall. But this is fucking, it's a combination of just fucking take my ball and go home shit with this crap. And with Melee, oh my god, it's the worst.
If it falls closer, I guess to the final thing I'll say is if it falls closer to an option select, then I can understand it a bit more, and I'll be more willing to say like, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Versus if it's closer to a roll cancel, where as much as that made the game legit and competitive and fun, it's like that is a bug where the guy can't get hit.
I think that if you show up to a tournament like this and you sign up and do all that stuff, you should be allowed to leave for any reason. But if you leave for a reason like this, they have to break your legs when you leave.
Anyway. All right.
No, for real though, I think like...
And yes, Matt, he should have had a backup.
Absolutely. That's a whole different part, but it's like if you're this specific, if you're this particular, right? Why would you go to this thing without a backup? And if you're unable to acquire a backup, doesn't that say something about the state that you're in the first place?
Let's go watch Hungry Box fight the Pizza Man again.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
That was a feel-good story.
I feel great. Fucking, oh man. God just came down and gave me a fucking shit on Melee for a day fucking story.
And the one that I got with Roger got taken away.
Yeah, no. You got one, you're like, oh, I get to be right. I get to be mad.
But because I self-correct and try to see if that's an issue, miracles. Then that's where I get.
Well, Melee's never going to stop being trash, so.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm safe.
Uh-huh. No, but like
Melee is a good game. It's just the people that make it trash.
But like I said, no, I'm when I read a story like that and then I go, what the fuck is this trash? And then I read a bit further and then he starts breaking it down. I'm willing to say I am uninformed enough to really understand the situation. It feels like this to me, but I need more information. Well, there's a lot of things where like I can be convinced. I don't know if do you ever have that?
Absolutely.
Where you're like, I can be convinced either way right now.
I sound like a constant massive fucking shitty asshole who's who's always feels super right about things, but I would rather be right than I would rather be correct than right. Right?
Yes.
So if you show me like, no, Pat, here's a photo of why you're wrong, I'll be like, oh, and then I'll be fucking sad and I'll hate it, right? But on this one, like, holy shit, man. But all the fucking ethics or mechanics of this, like the reason why I get so fucking like hot about it. It's the fucking, oh, I don't have my I'm gonna go home. Like that shit. Oh my fucking god. Could you imagine if fucking what was the guy whose fucking razor stick just melted on him?
Xian.
Imagine if Xian said, well, if I can't play with my razor stick, I'm fucking going home, and just left. Like how fucking shitty that would be.
Ridiculous.
Right? Yeah. And how much he deserved to be like mocked for that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, people have dropped out for dumber reasons.
Yeah, and they all fucking, oh, I don't like the table.
Mom says I have to come home.
Fucking.
Or you punched a guy or whatever the fuck happened.
I'm going to go home and I'm going to watch that fucking compilation of fucking Melee players crying and fucking punching holes in walls.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. There's plenty of footage. There's fucking plenty.
There's a long play of it.
Your ridiculous anger at the situation that is Melee is funnier than the actual Melee world.
Oh, I know.
So that's great.
Just fucking
keep it up.
Stomp, throw my perfect controller against the wall, punch a hole through a wall. Oh no, Fox did a wave shine. Fucking
You got a problem with space animals, buddy?
No, I got a problem with people who got a problem with space animals.
Chain grab them all day. Matt, if people want to send an email, where should they send it?
They can send it to complainaboutmelee@gmail.com.
That's super best.
Complainaboutmelee@gmail.com.
Okay, the real email is superbestfriendcast@gmail.com. That's superbestfriendcast@gmail.com.
It forwards all your emails to complainaboutmelee@gmail.com automatically. I've set up a pop filter.
So I try and send mail to Complain About Melee, and it looks like their inbox is full. Used up all their Damon mail. Just like, hey, you fucking, this shit's been full since fucking 2005.
Let's see who's fast enough. Should I? Nah, fuck it. I don't care enough. It'll be gone by next week. It'll never be referenced again.